Hello and welcome to this podcast brought to you by the Isle of Man Anti-Cancer Association. My name's Sandy and I'm the Executive Officer of the Association and a cancer survivor.
And my name is Malcolm, Chairman of the Isle of Man Anti-Cancer Association and a former surgeon. In this podcast we want to talk about malignant melanoma. This is a type of cancer that usually arises in the skin from cells known as melanocytes. These cells are found deep in the superficial layer of the skin and produce melanin, which is responsible for the variations in the colour and pigmentation of our skin. The darker our skin colour, the larger our melanocytes are and the more melanin they produce. Melanin provides protection to the deeper layers of our skin from the harmful invisible rays found in sunshine.
Now we all like to enjoy the outdoors sucking up the sun's rays, and most of us feel a lot better with the longer, warmer and brighter days of the summer, and we all long for that relaxing holiday in the sun. But we have to remember that as the sun gets higher in the sky, whether it be midday during the summer on the island or somewhere at other times nearer the equator, its rays are able to penetrate deeper into the Earth's atmosphere. A good idea of how intense the sun's rays are when the sun is high in the sky is the surge of heat that can be felt when the sun suddenly emerges from behind a cloud. Included in these rays are invisible ultraviolet or UV rays, the main cause of skin cancer.
It seems something of an irony that the very cells that produce a compound to protect us from harmful rays are also susceptible to damage to their DNA by the same rays, producing a tumour called a malignant melanoma. The incidence of this tumour has recently been shown to have been steadily rising over the past decades, something that has been put down to the increasing popularity of budget package holidays to sunnier climes. Malignant melanoma is now the fifth most common form of cancer.
There are two ways that we expose our skin to UV light that can increase our chances of developing skin cancers such as malignant melanoma. The obvious one is the amount of time throughout our lives that we experience high levels of sunshine. Not surprisingly, the longer the total time that a naturally pale-skinned individual has been a sun lover, the greater the risk. Not so obvious, though, is the individual who you might say binges on sunshine now and again, perhaps when the weather is particularly good on the island or by travelling abroad for a short holiday and trying to get the best out of the sunshine.
What many people forget at the time is that it takes some time for the melanocytes to increase production of melanin in response to the higher levels of exposure to the sunshine. Many of us like to spend some time working on our tan and are often keen to get going, but slow with the suntan lotion, thus ending up sunburnt. Most people associate sunburn as being when their skin is blistered and sore, but just going red can be a bad thing as well. Remember, the DNA in your skin cells, which controls the growth of the cells, can be damaged even before your skin starts to go red. Cancer Research UK tell us that people can triple their risk of developing a malignant melanoma by getting a painful sunburn just once every 2 years. This is particularly important in children. Their skin is more delicate, and even shorter periods of overexposure to the sun can lead to a legacy of skin cancer in later life.
Most of us have a variety of blemishes on our skin, ranging from birthmarks, spots, simple moles, areas of varying pigmentation, scars, and possibly even tattoos. Everyone's different. Some like their blemishes, whereas others do their best to hide them, and in the vast majority of cases, none of these will do you any harm. So when should we become concerned that a malignant melanoma is developing?
Everyone has moles, small pigmented spots, fairly evenly coloured with a smooth rim that changes very little with time. For the symptoms and signs of malignant melanoma, think A, B, C, D, E. A for asymmetry. They are not round or oval like a simple mole. B, the border. This tends to be irregular rather than a smooth outline. C, colour. It tends to be mixed with light and darker areas. D, diameter. They're more than 7 millimeters in size. And E, evolving. That is, it changes in size, colour or shape over time, and it may also itch or bleed.
There are ways in which we can look after our skin and reduce our risk of malignant melanoma or other forms of skin cancer. It also has the added advantage of keeping your skin and you looking younger. Use sunscreen. one with a sun protection level of at least SPF 15 or above is recommended. Apply generously and regularly. A good tip is to carry a small travel-sized tube of sun cream in your bag or in your car so you always have some to hand when out and about. And you don't have to buy expensive sun cream, but look for sun cream with a high star rating. And don't forget that your tube or bottle of sun cream needs replacing every 2 to 3 years. Old cream may not give the protection you expect, so try writing the year on the back of the container when you buy a new cream. That way you know whether it will still give you enough protection.
Also remember that covering up also helps. Wearing a hat, particularly one with a brim, or use a parasol or even a brolly. Wear a t-shirt, preferably long-sleeved, when roaming around. The material should be thick enough that when you look through a single layer of it, when directly held up to the sun, you're unable to see the shape of the sun. Or alternatively, simply move into the shade.
Some people may be conscious of the harm that may come from sunning themselves but still like a tan and turn to the use of a sunbed or fake tan instead. Sunbeds emit UV rays similar to sun exposure and therefore present the same risks. It is illegal on the island for those under the age of 18 to use a sunbed in a salon. The experts aren't sure about whether fake tan is safe as yet. It does need further research into the long-term effects. However, if you want a tan, current research does suggest that it's safer to fake it than tanning or on a sunbed or in the sun.
A final point to consider is to get someone to help you check your skin, particularly moles, on a regular basis. There are parts of our bodies that we cannot readily see very well that can get exposed to the sun, such as our backs or the tops of our heads. If you do find anything that concerns you, take a photo so that you have a baseline to compare it with when you look at the lesion again a week or 2 later. This can also be used to send to your doctor and may speed up a direct referral to a skin specialist for further assessment and possible treatment.
And of course, as we say regularly on this feature, if you notice anything that's not right for you, get it checked out by your doctor. For more information on malignant melanoma, visit the Cancer Research UK Sun Awareness website, which is sunsmart.org.uk. Or on the island, visit the Macmillan Cancer Information Centre, or you can call them on 650735. Thank you for listening.